special moment when he is figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do a very special thing, unique to him and fitted to his talents. What a tragedy if that moment finds him unprepared or unqualified for the work which would be his finest hour. These are the powerful words of Winston Churchill. Our lives are either spent preparing ourselves for when we are tapped on the shoulder, or waiting for someone else to lead. Every day, people are called upon to assume a position of leadership in schools, homes, businesses, and government. A person will be most rewarded if they have strived to prepare themselves for those tasks which are difficult. Lead in whatever sphere you find yourself. Sometimes your role may not seem grand, but it oftentimes is the small and quiet acts that are most significant and define a person's leadership. John Quincy Adams has said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." The way you present yourself, the way you speak, and even the way you perform everyday tasks influences the environment in which you live. I will share with you 2 examples of incredible people who led with tremendous impact and how each of us can acquire our own set of leadership skills. An ordinary woman who found herself tapped on the shoulder to lead under dreadful circumstances was Arriana. During the Second World War, Arriana was exposed to the Warsaw Ghetto and was much too appalled to stand idly by and watch as thousands of people died from starvation and disease. She gained legal access into the ghetto and began visiting every day to provide the people there with food, medicines, and clothing. Her heart went out to the children, and it was here that she concentrated her efforts. She began smuggling them out in any way possible. She wrote down the identities of each child and put all of the information in jars, which she buried. The children were then presented a new name and a temporary home until the end of the war, when Arriana could begin her work of reuniting the families. At one point, Arriana's work was discovered by the Nazis. For 3 months, she was tortured, and with both arms and legs broken, she was sentenced to death. At the last moment, people who worked in Arriana's favor managed to bribe the guard into releasing her. He let her go and said one word: "Run." And on 2 broken legs, Arriana ran as fast and as far as she could. Barely recovered from her injuries, and now in hiding, Arriana continued to put herself in danger for the sake of those children. Although she could not save all who suffered, by the end of the war, Arriana Sendler managed to save the lives of 2,500 Jewish children. For many, many years, she was quiet about her actions until her story was revealed through the play Life in a Jar. Despite knowing that she could be sentenced to death when she began her work, she led anyway, and even after 3 months of torture, she still did not give up. Although we may not do something of this magnitude, we may be in circumstances which cry out for a leader to stand up while everyone else is waiting for somebody to make a decision or do something. Oftentimes that leader is not popular and may face dire consequences for his actions. Yet, in Arriana's case, her choice to lead anyway saved thousands of lives. There may come a time when you are called upon to be a leader. It is therefore your responsibility to prepare yourself for that moment. There are people all around who quietly lead. Jim Casey is an incredible example of a leader in business who led quietly. Although he did not graduate from high school, he initiated a bicycle messenger service in Seattle, Washington. This messenger service grew to become the world's largest delivery company, United Parcel Service. Casey was a humble man who lived simply so he could donate millions to various foundations and charities. He did not undermine the little things. He always remembered everyone's name and went out of his way to be grateful to those who worked hard. He was a kind and selfless man who was concerned for the well-being of others. He did not do what he did to be popular, but to help better the lives of others. Leadership makes a difference. Our world needs leaders, and each one of us can choose to step up or remain stationary. Our world is politicians, not statesmen. The dearth of true leadership is as devastating as the worst of famines. And it is even more tragic because people do not realize that they are starving. Complacency and apathy abound, and history have repeatedly shown us that this state only leads to dependence and bondage. Leadership is desperately needed in our day. It is needed in every aspect of our society. We can be those leaders, and now is the time to prepare ourselves for our moment. The moment when we are tapped on the shoulder to do a very special thing. Whether we are quiet leaders, or leaders who will guide a nation to greatness,